Today I would like to talk about what makes a great developer. And to be honest, I think great developers, they start early. You can compare that to chess players. So the best chess players who have reached the grandmaster level, often they start when they are maybe 4 or 5 years old with playing chess. And if you are like a teenager, maybe you're 15 or something, then it's already quite late to start with the chess. If you aim at becoming a grandmaster, then it's very difficult. For instance, Magnus Carlsen, the best chess player in the world, he started when he was just a few years old, and now he's the best in the world. And his dad, he started when he was a teenager, but never became close to that level. And I think it's similar with programming, that if you start early, then it really helps with shaping your brain to be able to program better. Personally, I started when I was around 8 years old, I think, 7 or 8 maybe. I remember, I think it was when I turned 9, and then on my birthday I got a domain name as a birthday present on the web hosting. Since already before that I have been finding free hosting sites where I could try HTML changing websites, and then on that birthday I got a domain name, and then that's when I started to learn PHP. And when I was so young, I was only 9, and there were some Swedish websites who taught PHP, but a lot of it was in English, and the language itself is obviously in English. And when I started, I didn't understand anything. I was just copying, pasting code, and found code for a login system, and I would take pieces and paste them into my code base and hope that it would work. Run it, see what happened, and I think that's also very valuable if you have the patience to just continue, even if you encounter errors or you don't understand, but if you have the willpower to continue. So I think if you have the opportunity to start early, then it would be the most beneficial, but it's obviously difficult to go back in time. I think regardless of where you are in age, just keeping healthy health habits is good. Like if aiming at sleeping consistent 8 hours per night, go to bed in time, exercise regularly, and eat well, and limit your amount of coffee and alcohol. And I think regardless of what you do, if you just maintain those things, it will help you regardless of what you do in life. But specifically for coding, then I think if you're studying or not or so, but have a interest or passion for programming, so that you pursue it on your spare time as well. I think that's also very beneficial. When I was like 13 years old, and then I tried out different operating systems. I think that's when I installed Linux for the first time, when I was around 13. I also tried reinstalling my Windows 95 and 98 machines, and tried later on different Linux distributions, and I thought that was very interesting. And later, when I was studying at the university, during the university they taught us Java, MATLAB, C, and some other things. But it's quite theoretical when you go out and start work. I think your employer then expects you to be able to do JavaScript or Python or more practical things, not just knowing how to implement algorithms and data structures in Java. I think it's good if you learn a lot on the side. So when I was studying, then I was learning Python and JavaScript, and was setting up websites and web servers, and learned Git and different things. Many beginners they focus so much on like what programming language should I start with, but I think you should just start with something that interests you, and then like be open that you will eventually learn many more languages. So I think like if you have an Android phone and you want to make an Android app, then like Kotlin would be the logical language to start with. Or if you have an iPhone and want to make an iOS app, then Swift would be the logical language. So I think just if you feel yourself what are you interested in, and then start there. When I started with PHP, then I was reading on forums, and many people like they had a mindset that they wanted to build everything with PHP, not finding like what's the right tool for the job, but they were more thinking I know PHP and therefore I need to build like everything in PHP. But I think so it's not that big like a big deal what you start with. You just start with something, and then later you can change. Most of the big popular languages they're so similar anyways. Like all of them are object oriented and have similar syntax. It differs a bit, but once you know one language, then it's very easy to learn additional ones. So I think that doesn't matter so much. And another good habit I would say is to read a lot of code, and like when you run other people's projects, like to run and debug and start to train your brain to have a mental model of what code looks like and how it fits together, and how you debug, and how the flow is through a program. I think that's very valuable. When I've been working with a lot of junior programmers during my years, and I think it's a bit difficult to teach programming, I would say. I think it's so much just about intuition and being able to have that mental model. So I think you just need to give yourself time and practice a lot, and read code and write code. And I think over time you might be able to build that intuition, like how does pieces of software fit together, and when you enter a new code base to be able to like quickly get an understanding of how it works, and like see logical patterns between different things. But I think that just comes from training and practice. So I think it's a bit difficult to like. I don't think I can just say one specific thing and then you would magically become a good programmer. I think it's just about practice. Another thing that I think would help you to develop is to always be slightly challenging yourself. If you don't do anything new but just continue to do the same things, maybe at work if you just continue with the same application year after year and never try anything new, then you will not develop. But on the other hand, if you try to do too many things at once, then you might get frustrated and feel stuck, and then give up eventually. And I think the best is to find like a sweet spot in between where you challenge yourself a little bit. So you always need to struggle a little bit and read and develop. So it's not just going on autopilot when you're coding. And in the same vein, I think for me, I have learned quite independently. I can't really say that I've had any like mentor or something. So I think it's totally possible to learn on your own as long as you have the interest to read and try different things on your own. There is a lot on the internet. I think there are a lot of good lectures on YouTube from different conferences that are worth to listen to. So you can try to find something that interests you and listen to that and get some inspiration, and then maybe try something of that on your own. It might be like about functional programming or programming patterns or data structures or whatever. But there is a lot of interesting things there, I would say. And then I would also not like how to say, I think that there is a lot of value in books still, even though maybe people who program today, who start today, maybe they feel like too impatient to be able to read a whole book. But I think that's probably maybe the best starting point if you are gonna learn something new, like a new language or a new framework. If you buy a book and read it, it's like maybe 300 pages, but then you get to know everything the author has thought, like what's good to begin with and like what are the advanced things. And by reading that, then you will like know everything worth knowing, basically. On my first job, and then I started with C#. I hadn't done any C# development before that, but at the university there I did Java. They are very similar, but from my employer then I was recommended to read one particular C# book, which I did. It was like, I think I had like 1.5 weeks between I got employed until I started. And during that 1.5 weeks I read through that whole book, and a lot was similar to Java, but then I got like a good understanding of what's available in the language. I also remember at another point reading a book about HTTP, and I think that was also very educational, getting to learn about the different levels with IP and packages, and so I think that's very valuable, even if maybe it doesn't seem that attractive nowadays. I think people now maybe are searching for something more quick and maybe YouTube videos with tutorials, but I think there's a lot of value in books, I would say. I remember one consultancy project I had. It was to develop an application in Swift for iOS. And before that I had never used a Mac. I had never programmed anything in Swift. I had never used like iOS, so no iPhone or iPad, so everything was new. And that project was quite tough, and I was also the only developer in that project. And I remember that it was quite challenging so I read a book about iOS development, and it was a lot time spent during like weekends and evenings to learn, but in the end I think it turned out quite well, and I learned a lot from it, even though it was very challenging at the time. So maybe that was a bit too much, but I think like in that spirit that it's good to challenge yourself, and then you will learn much more than just if you continue to do the same thing over and over again. And that's I think is a good recommendation for getting a job at a consultancy firm, because then you will have either like projects after each other. Maybe you work at the project for like a year or two, or you might have multiple projects at the same time. And I have had so many different projects as a consultant, done JavaScript and Python, C++, C#, Swift, different languages and frameworks, and that I think is a great way to develop and become a better programmer. Maybe it's not so common nowadays among younger people. Maybe it's a bit more like among older ones, that once they get employed, maybe they stay at the same firm for like 10 years or even longer. But I think that's quite bad from the perspective of your own personal development. Then it would be much better to change job regularly. But if you are a consultant, then it's more logical, and then you can just go to your boss and tell that now you feel like you would like to change a job or change project. So then you can be phased out from one project and then start with another one. And that's both like educational and technical, but also on your social side, that you get to meet new people and learn people skills and how to communicate and collaborate and cooperate with other developers. A big part of being a developer is just working together with other people. And also when you change project from time to time, then you get to like get into a new code base from scratch. It's something you haven't seen before, and you get to train your brain in like seeing the patterns again, and how is the structure, and you can take inspiration from that and learn things from that. And you can also like start to see what are design changes you could do to improve different things in it. So I think it's very educational. And that's it for me for today. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I might address them in a future video. And I hope you have a great day. Bye bye.